Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 72 of Be With Me. I was going to title this The Last Sentence in Matthew, and I rejected that. And I was going to title this God Asks Us to Do the Impossible, and I rejected that. And today I'm going to call this I Am With You. Get your Kleenex. I've needed 4 already this morning. We're finishing the Gospel of Matthew, the last words, the last sentence of the Gospel of Matthew, the great conclusion. And it's called the Great Commission, and it hit me in a certain way. But just imagine how the disciples would have felt at this last moment. I'm going to read it now. The Great Commission, Matthew 28, verse 16. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain which Jesus had directed them. So they obey. Good job. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. This killed me. Verse 18. And Jesus came and said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you to the... I'm getting this wrong. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. So my first thought was this doubted thing. So these disciples, the doubt, they had seen Mary Magdalene come back from the tomb. They had seen the women come back from the tomb. They had seen Peter and John come back to the tomb. They had seen the guys on the road to Emmaus come back from the tomb. They had seen 500 people resurrected out of the tombs in Jerusalem. They had seen Thomas, refuse and doubt. They had seen Jesus come to the room behind closed doors. Then he saw the Thomas rescue mission. They'd seen all of that. And it says they doubted. So if you doubt today, you're in good company. I mean, that's what this tells me, is the welcome to the spiritual life. This is a little bit of up and downs. But the big thing, 2 big thoughts for today. That wasn't even one of them. One of them is what they asked him to do is impossible. He's asking them, you human beings, here's your job, is to initially connect and then strengthen the connection of a holy God, all-powerful, all-creating God, with a sinful man and womankind who doubt even amidst great evidence. And in one sense, only God can make disciples. It's so far above our pay grade. I mean, it's awe that he'd want us even in the first place. It's awesome as in drop your chin to the ground and just wonder that he'd bother with us in the first place, and that he went to all this trouble to make the universe and planets and orbits and rotations and heat and sunrise and water management to keep us alive, that he'd be mindful of us. Why? What is man that you are mindful of him? That's my just awe thought today. We are a difficult people. I'm a difficult person, and the disciples here are demonstrating this by their unbelief after seeing all this stuff. So every piece that we have is that these guys turn out fine from here on out. But I'm just saying it's charming that he allows some doubt in this ta-da moment, and literally he's going to get to the ta-da part. So what he's asking us to do is impossible. That's my first thought. My second big thought is there's a lot of not impossible stuff in here. He talks about be willing, okay, move the needle of obedience and worship and recognize his authority and yield and submit. Yeah, I think I can, move 1 square in that realm. Baptize. Okay, I think I can probably participate in that. Point people towards his name, get people in the family. Teach. Encourage people to obey the call, shout out the call to obey a little louder. So on one hand, the big stuff is that this is absolutely impossible. And then there's like these subtasks of possible things that we're doing. But the biggest point is in the last sentence. Teach them to observe all that I have commanded you. And here's the last sentence. And behold, which is the tada word. I am with you always to the end of time. I was thinking of the passage in John chapter 14 where it says, whoever has my commandments and keeps them, it is he who loves me, and he who loves me will be loved by my Father. And then listen to this. I will love him and manifest myself to him. And Judas said to him, Judas is not Iscariot, said, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world? And Jesus answered him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. We will make our home with you. Jesus says, behold, tada, here's how this is going to happen. I am with you always, and I'm going to make my home with you. So what a passage this morning. If you're doubting, if you're stumbling, if you're unbelieving, welcome to the family. Even the leaders, the pillars, these guys are they make statues out of these guys on big churches and stuff. Welcome to the family. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make it. I think that's encouraging that they even put this in this tada passage that the knucklehead disciples are doubting. So you're in good company. Welcome to the family. But then the big thing today for me is this tada, that Lord, still you are amazing. Still you are touching hearts. Still you are bringing tears. So yes, there's a task, but there's this touch of God. Yes, there's a to-do, but there's the tada. And there's a job to do, but then you get Jesus. There's work to do, and there's this wonder, and there's this width that he gives us. In a sense, on one hand, he tells you to go, work and bust your butt, but the important part is the behold part. So there's this going, but the essential part for me is this: you get me. I am your portion. Behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. Let's see you tomorrow.